Welcome viewers to part 2 of Let's Play Mega Man 9. We have gotten 4 of the robot leaders down. It's time to get the other 4. Jewel Man was the last guy we killed, so I wonder who could be next. And why, it's gotta be Plug Man. Yeah, he's weak to the weapon. And now we begin with the level, and if you have Jewel Man weapon, which if you take the route I am, you would, and you could use this whole first section by using one of the Jewel shields to get through the whole thing. All the enemies will get killed from it, it's no problem. They take one hit pretty much, so the Jewel shield could take them easy. Here you get, some standard enemies you've pretty much seen already. But here's something new, yet familiar. The appearing, disappearing blocks. Now that point, I jump, I take the hit. Because if you actually try and jump in front of him and then shoot, if you don't make it, you're gonna be kicked back and fallen into the spikes. And I've tried running back to the platform to the left and it just didn't happen. This area here, it's pretty simple to get the screw and the 1-up. You just keep going at the top. Every appearing block, you just jump to it. There's none of those tricky ones that appear above you. This part does, however. But, I mean, there's only... I think that's the only one. There might be a second one coming up that has a block popping above you. Otherwise, these are straightforward. You can actually use the Jewel Shield here to basically kill those sparks that are kind of going around the floor. It's very basic, simple. If you use the rush coil here, like I did, you can jump up here. When you pass those little, I don't know, windows of some sort, static windows, sometimes there'll be a dark Mega Man thing. They can be killed in one hit. You could do it with your regular Mega Buster, but if you have the Jewel Shield, it should be no problem. The one hit, they'll take it out. It's good to use it like when I used it there, because not only you can refill from that refill energy capsule that was there, but you kill everything on the way to refill everything else. This area is easy enough, but watch out for the 3 that pop up on top, because they could block you in and you fall to your doom. This area, stand right there and then jump over, or you can just Jewel Shield to kill them. Otherwise, not too difficult. This guy, he's back. He takes a couple hits. Kill him. Obviously, he's the little guy. Little guy. He's probably the biggest one in the whole level, but he's usually the one guarding the boss, I guess. But anyway, here's Plug Man. And bring out the Jewel Shield. Hopefully you have it full. You need it full to kill him, because every one counts. Take your time. I pretty much just take the hits from everything that's going on, because it can be kind of a pain to avoid everything. But otherwise, use the shield and then give him a hit. It's going to be a 1-for-1, so you're going to use every piece of shield power you got to kill him. Make sure you fill it up completely, but that level had easy spots of refilling, and you can actually stand there, have them, come at you. The power-ups can keep falling on you. You can take a bathroom break, for all I care. Who knows? Whatever. After you beat the 5th one, you get this little cutscene. All it really is now you get an update for, Rush Jet. And it would have been kind of cool to have him going that fast. Even though if it were to work the same like it does in the levels, it'd probably be a pain for how fast it would go. But whatever. Next guy to take out is Hornet Man. His level can be a pain. There's one spot I am not gonna lie. I use the Rush Jet. It's a pain. You can do it. I've done it without the Rush Jet, but you want it. You probably want it. And it has to do with those new platforms. They actually look something like Dr. Mario Vitamin. Those things that come down kind of look like it. At least that's what I always think. Those platforms, well, this enemy that's swinging around, if you kill the balloon on top, it's gonna fly all over the place. So, I mean, you can kill the actual, you know, the head of the guy himself and it wouldn't fly, but, you know, you gotta be careful with that. As far as these platforms, they're like, kind of like gravity. They have a gravity pull in it and they rotate around. The nasty thing about these is if you're above it, and you press the jump button, you jump up. But if you're below it and press the jump button, you fall down. It's a pain. This area here, I usually try jumping, just, you know, keep on jumping up above it. That keep you up on top. It's still a pain because, you know, they go back and forth and I have died. And that beginning part, as you saw, I was like, ugh, I just kept not making it. The spikes and the pits are usually the hard part for that area because they're kind of in the way. Once you pass that part, you know, this part gets kind of normal. You're gonna get these well, ice platforms and these shield attacker guys. Luckily, you got the trident weapon, so you can actually take them out real fast and easy. Make sure you don't slide, because I've actually start sliding in those little platforms and just fall right into the spikes, and I'm like, oh. This Sniper Joe, whatever Joe, he's back. The trident's great because you can actually kill him even when his shield's up. And some extra screws right there. Might want to go for that if you want. Now you get something bit of a Toad Man stage kind of element. It's raining, and depending on where the rain goes is where the wind is kind of blowing you. And yes, it goes left and later on it does go right. So when you're standing on the platform, you're not moving. But when you're in the air, it's pushing you a little bit to the left in this case. It's a pain, and then it gets even worse with those vitamin type Dr. Mario platforms. This area, I know I got before, but it's been a while. I just rush jetted. I'm not even bothering with it. Now we get to this area where out of nowhere it's going the right way. If you use rush jet or rush coils, excuse me, right there, you can get a 1-up. 1-ups are good. You get these umbrella guys. They kind of slowly go down the direction of the rain. You know. Also, well, actually earlier, you might have to go back, but there was an energy tank in the cloud at the top left. Also, some of the clouds, actually I think all of them probably, they're the platforms. You can actually stand on it. You might want to be careful. I don't know how far to the edge they are, but they're platforms. Once you actually get through all that, it's boss time. And he's got a couple different, you know, when he does that swirly move with the hand, that's when tornadoes come up. They usually give you a gap in between each, so you can kind of avoid them, really can avoid them. Of course, I didn't do too well. He might either be in the air or on the floor. You just use the plug shot and take him out. Definitely try to hit him directly on if you can, because if you miss, it's going to start going all around the room. And if he's actually like in the middle of the room where he can't get hit by it, that's one less shot you can shoot later on until it wears out or when it finally hits him. So it's one thing to worry about. Also, careful with the spikes on top. When he does his tornado blow, you get an extra boost on your jump, and you can hit those spikes. Other than that, simple enough. Now we're on to Magma Man. It's like I had to think about it for a second. This, you know, you get your kind of like fireman or heatman type level. Those guys, they have a set pattern. If you know where they're gonna swoosh in and stop, you can totally avoid them. Yeah, that part, it always gets me, and that time actually got me there. Usually I make it to the ladder, but well, at least in this recording, I missed it that time. And of course, I'm playing on the Wii, and the D-pad isn't all that great. It's good controller. I got used to it. But I mean, for those diagonal spots where you have to be going left and have to be pressing up for like the ladder, it's tricky. That's the only thing I hate about it. And now we get to this area. It's actually, boy, another reference. This is kind of like a Quick Man stage in a way. You get those, these will kill you one shot. So, I mean, this is a little bit kind of like the Quick Man stage in a way where, you know, those beams came from the side. And you're not quick enough, you die. Something like it, but not really. It has the sound effect. That's true. Interesting little fact, though, is you can actually use C-Shot on them, on those little fire beam things. You can actually freeze it, and you can actually use it as a platform if they're going left or right, so it'll be useful later on, that's for sure. Not in this level, I don't think, but in the hint levels later. Now this guy, he can be a pain because he whooshes up and down, and whatever fire balls hit the ground, just shoot another one, and it can be tricky. Black hole, I've seen everybody use it. It works well. I like it. Now this short area, you can actually use the jewel shield. Even the shots coming from above, they actually do no damage to you. You're eventually gonna have to lose it or get rid of it. If you want to go the upper path, there's a 1-up. When you get to this room, just keep running. You can make it pretty much almost non-stop through that whole room if you keep going. And now we get to another few beams. If also a little fun fact, like what I'm doing there, if you get real close to it, you kind of get that sizzle, you know, spark things coming out or whatever. I think it's supposed to really go down, but whatever. Who's really counting? These guys, the little jumping guys, can be kind of a pain. Not only they shoot, like if you were to, you can jump over, and I have to jump over the pits and make it fine. But if somehow the little fireballs that they're shooting up hits you, you could fall into the lava, and well, you'd be invincible for a second or two. But I don't know, they're kind of a pain. It's more of a pain if you try to kill them. I don't know why I did it there. But anyway, off for the boss. I don't even know how to fight him normally. I'm just gonna waste my life because I had so much damage. And he's kind of a pain because he jumps all around and he's shooting like 3 fireballs at you. One going horizontal, the other 2 going diagonal, up and down. The tornado blow is actually very useful for 2 things. First off, when you use it, he loses the fire on top of him. So his shots are tiny. So you can actually avoid him easier. And of course damages him. I'm not exactly sure how the mechanics work, but he can get another shot too. I think when he hits the tornadoes, which is more random than anything. There is a good chance you're not going to be able to kill him with all those tornado shots. You're probably going to have to switch to some other weapon to finish him off like I did here. Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. And now that we're finished for our efforts on that boss, we get the Magma Bazooka. I don't know any bazooka that actually shoot diagonally, but this one does. And now we got one guy left, Hornet Man. Some robot master designs, their designs are in question sometimes. But whatever. In this level you get this more flowery setting, which makes sense. Those flower pots can be kind of a pain. They shoot out whatever the flowers or the cactus they have inside them. They just kind of home in on you for a little bit. They're not too bad. This platform can be kind of a pain, especially later on. As you see there, when you hit it, it'll expand, but only stay for like a second or two, and then, you know, retract, go back in. And it goes all the way, so you don't have that little edge of platform for like a second. So you gotta be very careful. the scissors, the shears, or whatever. You know, if you kill one of the two pieces as it flies by, it won't come back. But if they connect and fly off, they'll come back. Just one go. These those little machines, you hit them, they start shooting the bubbles. Pretty much you could see. I mean, you can get a 1-up like I showed you back there. Here you gotta be a little tricky, a little cautious. The spikes are there. Don't want to stay too long. Now when you get to this area, it becomes fun. You can use weapons. I mean, through my test runs, I actually took this guy on very well with just a regular shot compared to like the C-shot or something. Yep. When I start recording it, it's like, no, it doesn't seem to work that way anymore. This flower, he'll pop anywhere around. First of all, you gotta keep going around clockwise. Try not to hit that I don't know, second hand going around, I guess you could say. The flower is your target. As long as he doesn't take damage, he'll keep shooting 4 different of his rose petals. Once he takes damage, he stops for a second and then disappears. He'll pop pretty much anywhere except exactly where you're at. It takes a little jumping and timing. I really didn't want to die, and I'm like so about to die. Luckily, I took him out. I was really worried because here is the checkpoint. You gotta hate it when that happens. You know what that means? I'm probably gonna have to die just so I can recover health. Stand on that platform, let all the enemies go by. I found that to be the easiest. This place is kind of a pain if you keep moving. If you stand still at that spot, it's not a problem. You're gonna have to jump down on that platform. You're probably gonna have to take a hit. Unless you take the lower path, then it might be a little different. You can shoot those shears out. Again, just stay there, you know, take your time because the platforms, they only stay there, and if they roll back in, and there's nothing below you, you're gone. Now if I showed you there, if you're quick enough, you can jump over that guy. Or you can rush jet this whole thing. Now here's the cactus guy. I think they act exactly the same as the flower one. I don't know of any difference. This one, just shoot him from the far left. Those are easy. And if you take this upper path, you get, you know, some energy and health recover items. If you do take that way, though, you're gonna have to kind of deal with those guys again. And it's gonna be the same thing here. If you get these little screws, that guy down there at the bottom right is gonna repop. That guy's a lot easier. He'll pretty much be not a problem. And then, of course, more flower pots. We're pretty much at the end. There's the 1-up on top. And there's that big guy at the bottom. You can, of course, go to the boss room, get it over with, or you can go for the 1-up, which, of course, everything respawns, and you kind of take a little extra. It's good to get the 1-up. I mean, you can at least, you know, like in my case here, you could die and then retry with full health, since I'm not at full health at the moment. But if you got the magma weapon, this guy is a piece of cake. He's gonna jump up and shoot 3 of his bees. And it's perfect for this type of weapon because you can take those bees out easy. You just follow this pattern basically. You shoot his bees, he'll come down and start going across, and then shoot bees again. You just shoot the bees out, shoot again unless you're already holding the button, and then fire a bigger blast at the boss, so more of the energy goes to him and not the little guys. Just repeat. I mean, that is it. Easy. He's probably a pain otherwise, because you got those 3 bees. If you can kind of take him out quick enough, you can then shoot the boss as he's starting to go across the screen. But I mean, if you stay at this pattern, it should be no problem. And now, we're actually done with all the Robot Masters. And now, of course, we gotta have a little more story. Gotta be some reason why we're, you know, now going after you-know-who. Yeah, if you think about it, this is kind of a twist on the original game, because Mega Man 1, it was Dr. Light's robots you were fighting. And all the other ones were Dr. Wily made by himself. This one, they're all Dr. Light robots again. But in this time around, it's kind of like he tricked them. So it's a neat little twist. Instead of just stealing them and it's kind of the same thing, really. He did kind of steal them and reprogram them. But in this case, he was trying to do it to actually frame Dr. Light as well. Which, yeah, it was a little boost. You know, that's kind of good. If you notice, there's 7 robot masters, not 8. It's because the 8th one is looking at what's going on. So whoever the last guy is will be the one not in that group of robots. Really, I have not seen all the variations. But, oh no! How did Dr. Wily get his spaceship in there? I have no idea. But now, you know, we're off to go to Dr. Wily. And that is going to be for part 3. See you then.